I think I'm live. All right. I'm just going to resize some things. Welcome, everyone. Just let me know if you can hear me okay. We're just going to take a couple of seconds to get set up. Be sure to let me know if you can hear me okay. I have these puppies in and I'm upstate. I'm just checking with Catherine to make sure everyone can hear me. I'm getting buzzes. Everyone leave me alone. Yay, Ken here. Hey everyone, how are you? So these are not the offices of Ackerley Green. These are the satellite offices of Ackerley Green. This is Ackerley Green Upstate Edition. I am upstate. Hey Terador. I'm upstate this week while Catherine mans the offices back in the city. I can't hear myself in here, so it sounds like my ears are clogged up. It's all good. Yeah, so I've just been up here writing all week, getting some editing done for the Book of Briars, and some other things, getting some stuff developed for the Briar Society, and yeah, we have some interesting and super cool stuff to talk about tonight. So I have some lights kind of set up. This office is normally pretty dark. Hogwarts. This office is normally pretty dark. That's how I like it. That's how King Rabbit and I like it. So I had to sort of set up some lights, and I have this little battery powered one over here that might not last the entire. It's the Lego model of Hogwarts. It goes on and on and on. And I also have a lighting kit for it that if and when I get some free time, my shoulder. So yeah, so today I want to get into a couple of things. So I have a bit of a sore throat, so bear with me. Get into some fun stuff tonight. Hi, Leslie. It's so funny. Everyone has their sort of YouTube avatar names, profile names, and I sometimes don't know who they match up to because I only think in Magic Verse. So please forgive me. And if you happen to be on here, feel free to write down your username to let me know who you are in the Magic Verse, which is the only verse that matters. Hi, Amraneth. That's who you are. Hello. And if you have questions, I'm going to try not to stare at the chat the entire time, even though I'm so excited we have it up. Void! It's Void. So if you have questions, please post them over here. If I don't answer them immediately, Catherine will be checking them out and sending me notifications, and I'll answer them at the end. So what we're going to talk about today is some just administrative site stuff, merchandise theme for March, and I might talk about candles a little bit too. So we have a lot to get into. And I have some surprises to show you, possibly some spoilers. I didn't bring my spoiler card, so it's just going to be spoilers all around. Hey, Vic, how are you? Oh, wow, good to see you. I hope you're doing well. We're still chugging along here at the Magic Verse. So first off, and so we have been, I think this has a light. Does that? Anyway, so we're working on some things on the back end, some like not super crazy fun stuff, but a lot of the sites that are part of Ackerley Green have not been touched since 2016 when I built them, like the Guide to Magic Assessment. So on the back end, we've been rebuilding a lot of things, making them more efficient, making them look a little cleaner, more modern, come out, and it would just kill it. And so we would have to rebuild the whole thing to get it to work. And now it's working and we're happy with it. So we're working on some things on the back end, and we're also creating some new pages on ackerleygreen.com, like the community calendar. And starting in April, which is sort of our quarter two, we're going to also be posting the things we internally are working on Hey, Ash! So So what was I going to say? I got excited. The chat. I love the chat, and I can't stop reading it, and then I lose my train of thought. I was talking about new pages on Accurately Green. So yeah, so keep an eye out for that, and also this community calendar we're building. No, I'm not looking. I'm not reading. Hi, Sel. So so I lost my train of thought again. So, so one great thing about the community calendar is that you may have seen there's sort of a test ad for the candles on the out of world topics on the forum. We're just sort of testing out like how often those show up, where they show up, etc. It will always only be out of world and only be for Accurately Green stuff. But what we primarily want to do is remind people about things like this, like Hangouts, so that people, as they're scrolling through and interacting in the community, can yes. So that's stuff we're working on and rolling out in the second quarter. So we're in the middle-ish of the Book of Briars Connect. Yes, there's a riddle and a mystery and a puzzle, but there are also some narrative things that I think will help you fill in the blanks the more you guys discuss it. What I really like about it is that I tried to make it feel like it was old school TMP, because that's the road that took to an essay about how like so much of the magic verse is about how magic and technology meet. And that's a big, big focus, passion, and obsession of mine. I feel like that's what makes us different, what sets us apart in the sort of fantasy genre. And so that was another reason why we don't often, there are times we've had props like Brandon Lockman's bookmark or his journals, and we ended up not sharing them visually because it's sort of like what you can imagine is so much better than what we could put together and show you. I think when it's really important and it really matters, we make a point to do that. But a lot of times, especially with something like a Roman spearhead that is going to be destroyed within a couple of hours, our what you imagine in your mind is so much better. It might be even cool to do a thing where maybe sketches are made by the readership and become canon. Those illustrations could then be in the published books. I just came up with that idea. That could be really cool. Another sort of back and forth collaborative thing. For people who haven't seen this before, I am rambling and speeding through this because I am nervous about talking to you all, even though I love you all. And basically you're my social circle. I don't talk to anyone else. So this still just makes me nervous, and I'm saying that now, but I'm getting over it. This is my Montreal mug because Montreal is one of my favorite cities in the world. So we're in the middle of the part 2 release, and we are on the back end working on the final edits. It's a really tight schedule, but we're making sure we get it out, and I'm really excited about the direction of the book and all of your ideas about it. And I will say that once some of you read part 1 and started speculating on things in the meta topic, I'm not saying I went back and changed things to fit some ideas you had. Hey, we've gotten that out of the way. Book of Briars narrative release part 2. If you haven't pre-ordered it, please do that. And when part 2 comes out, you'll get access to part 1 and part 2. The Briar Society. So we initially, when we set out to do the Briar Society, we sort of capped it at 100 people because that's basically the minimum order of pins when we make new pins. And when we made the Briar Society December, as we started working on the narrative, and we worked on trying not to spoil things, how personalized and immersive we wanted to make it. We thought, you know what, 50 might be a really good number, especially for the inaugural year. It would be less scary, really exciting goal for us. And so through the course of December, we had enrollment open, and then we opened it again for a few days in February. And we are super excited to say that there are 70 members of this 2020 chapter of the Briar Society. It's like the Monarch Papers, but even a lot more. But for you to take a leap and say, we're going to try it out, literally not knowing what it is, what it's going to be like, we're going to invest it and become a part of this thing. It means so much to me. And listen, everyone who is a part of this community means so much to me. This is sort of all I think about all day long. The reason I'm up here is so that I can work on things for all of you without the interruption of my family. So I can work for 12 to 14 hours, just making new content and creating new things and coming up with new ideas for you all. So please don't ever think that if you pay the monthly fee for AG Plus, or the enrollment decision was, well, I'm going to have to create double the content. I'm going to have to create content for mountaineers who, for whatever reason, don't or can't afford to be involved in the Briar Society. I completely understand, or that's not their thing. And then for the people who do want to become a part of the Briar Society. And the reason I'm creating that is not to create a paywall and divide the community. It's so that we can exist. This is for me to create interactive content daily and weekly at least, it means I have to scale back on writing traditional books. And so if I have to scale back on writing traditional books, that was sort of our original business model. So being able to segue this into the Briar Society and AG Plus supporting the company, and the published books kind of being the t-shirt of the experience, that makes more sense for us and helps us keep the lights on so we can keep doing this stuff. So all of you mean the world to me. And these past 4 years, seeing that there is a group of people out there who feel the way I do about story and who want to interact and be in this immersive thing, it blows me away. And I'm glad that I'm sure there'll be other things that come along like this in the future, but I'm glad we were the first. And I'm glad that we please know that you will have just as much fun stuff to do as you ever have. And it will the sort of mountaineer experience and the Briar experience is going to interact in a lot of different ways. And as soon as all of this starts, it will be much easier to discuss. But for right now, there are still a lot of secrets and things we want to keep on lockdown. But just remember, hope, despair, and illumination. Those are the sort of three sides of the triangle. If you want a spoiler, that's not a spoiler. I said I wasn't going to spoil anything. I can't help it. Okay, so let's move on to interactive stuff, some new things that we have planned for Q2. So the big plan for Accurately Green was always that I would create this world better than me, and they would expand this world. And so we're doing a sort of test pilot version of that. I mean, you see it in little ways now, since basically last summer, where Catherine has helped start to create and expand the universe and the narrative, and to check in ways now that Saberlane can't. You'll notice this week she's been spearheading the Book of Briar's release. And yes, I love this world. Oh no, they don't work here, I know. So I'll see what I can do about that. I'm going to write a strongly worded letter to YouTube. Get the AG emoji, AGG, no, it doesn't work, to work on YouTube. So having said that, I looked at the chat and lost my train of thought again. Oh, interactive, immersive, expanding the world, other people contributing to the world. So if you were involved, I can't stop. I'm going to put like a Post-it over it. If you were involved in TMP or you read the books, you might be familiar with a mountaineer named Mike, who was there from the very beginning. And the reason he was there from the very beginning is because he's my friend in real life. And when no one had joined the Monarch Papers in those early days, he was on there with 3 or 4 of my other friends, pretending to not be my friend and having discovered it and solving puzzles. Well, his name is Mike Nelson, and he's an incredibly talented writer, and we have been friends for about 15 years. We met in my screenwriting days out in LA, working on comic books and movies and all sorts of stuff. So Mike knows the ins and outs of this narrative very well. And every year he comes here, literally on these chairs, and we grab those walking sticks, which are actual props from the Monarch Papers and have sort of magical filaments in them that he made, because he's also a win to the magic verse and helped me continue to create things. I, believe it or not, Saberlane's dead now, so you will believe that I'm only one person. And I want to continue building this world. And while there are things I would love to focus on, like Neither Nor Reborn or Minecraft, I think you all would rather my attention be in places like getting the Book of Briars out and creating narrative for the forum and for the Briar Society. I think that's what you want. And also working on future books. that are coming soon. So I've been talking with Mike, and we are going to test out him working as two things. He's going to help launch the sort of I'm not gonna look. So, and I'll answer all questions afterwards. I will get so derailed. So Mike is going to come on as a narrator for Neither Nor Reborn. And what that means is we're not sure what the schedule is, but we're going to work together. And I'm going to sort of act as, if you know how TV shows get written, there's sort of a head writer slash showrunner that kind of writes the majority of the content, but also helps shepherd other writers to create the content and make sure it fits in the world. So Mike is going to work as a kind of a DM, a dungeon master slash narrator for Neither Nor Reborn, and create some new content that will be either narrative and or riddles and puzzles. And he might play NPCs. We're not sure. I'm trying to keep it low key because we're not sure how we're going to start this. But there's going to be someone kind of managing Neither Nor Reborn's narrative in a weekly, if not, a monthly, if not weekly sort of format. I think that's really cool. And it's a good place to start this because while events in Neither Nor Reborn can be canon, they don't necessarily have to be canon. So you get a little more room to play. It also allows creators to exist in the Magicverse. And that also allows that for Mike as well, to kind of create sort of new narratives where you get to go and play and interact in creative writing ways. So he's going to do that. And he's also going to help me get the Minecraft Magicverse server off the ground. And we also have Helios is going to be helping with that as well. But Mike is going to help create some structures and maybe even some narrative in the Magicverse Minecraft server. So if you haven't played Minecraft, but also it's one of my favorite games. It's communal, it's community. You can build the kind of fantasy world you want. And there are a lot of cool mods and plugins you can use to make magic in Minecraft. So that's an interesting thing. Oh, sorry, I'm getting messages, ignoring them. So that's really exciting. We're going to have some new interactive stuff. And I want you to know that even when people come in to sort of help support and create things in the Magicverse, I am still a part of every single bit of it. And Catherine will tell you, much to her chagrin, that she is incredibly talented. I love the stuff she posts, and I still have got my fingers in it because that's the promise I've made to you. She's a very talented writer, and I don't think you guys have gotten to see enough of that yet, and you might in the very near future. But yeah, as I said, I will always have my fingers in everything, helping to shape and to make sure it fits into this narrative. So two more quick updates and then I'll answer questions. So new products in the shop next week. The Elemental Terrarium. Oh no. Yeah, let me know if you're having problems. Everything looks okay on my end. And I have fairly good Wi-Fi here. So new products in the shop next week. Elemental Terrarium buttons are going to be in the shop, as well as pendants. The necklace with interchangeable Elemental Terrarium necklaces. They're going to be in the shop next week, and we'll do a post about them so you can check them out. And AG Plus members should have received them by now. They're sets of buttons. I'm going to keep it a secret. One thing, the candles we're creating for. Oh yeah, it's a mystery. Well, and as soon as this is over, it'll go up on the forum. So if you miss anything, you can check it out there. We're also going to turn this into audio. And then if you like them, I'm so happy. I'm so happy you like them. And if you have questions anyway, just ask them and I'll answer them at the end, and you'll be able to see the answer. So we are, the candles we're making right now and we're working are super hyper specific to the Magicverse. Like the book candle market is pretty saturated with sort of library smell, or I don't want to like besmirch anyone, but these sort of like more general concepts. But we do have some slightly more general concepts in the Magicverse, and I'm curious if you would be interested in those, because we would love for AG Alchemy to be your #1 book candle purveyor. So something like Wonder, or night library. I just made that up. You know, something like that that feels like the vibe of Accurately Green, the Magic Verse, but maybe isn't so limiting and so specific. I don't know. I agree. There's no thing as too many candles. I have one burning right now. Glacier. They're candles based on national parks. This one is very nice. Yeah. So yeah. Okay. Cool. Wonder. I just made that up. Wonder. I love it. Um, Liam also redid the elemental badges and things like that. We've worked together last fall to create. Also, I'm going to pause. I'm going to get back to it because Helios just mentioned the break norm policy on candles. We bought melt molds. So starting in the next batch, we're also going to create melts so that even if you can't light a candle in your dorm, you could get an electric melt, warm hot plate. And we're going to do them in all the scents. And there's sort of like a little pie-shaped wedge, and you can just break it off and melt it a few times. So we're going to roll those out next month. I'm so glad you mentioned that. So the AG Plus theme is guild bearings because we are working on we've done it. I'm being coy when I'm about to announce it. We have created 18. So we have symbols for each of the guild bearings. And this month's AG Plus merch is going to be a tattoo of your guild bearing, a temporary tattoo of your guild bearing, as well as stickers. And so I'm going to show you, I don't know if this will come up on the screen, but so you get the celestial symbol, you get your guild symbol with a new ornament around it, and at the top is the elemental symbol representative of each of the 6 guilds. Catherine, should I not spoil what's coming in April for AG Plus members? No, I won't do it. I'm not going to do it. There is something big coming to, I'm not going to announce it. There's something big coming to AG Plus in April. Huge. And then from that point on, it will be monthly. You'll get it monthly. So yeah, we're going to announce that at next month's Hangout. So stay tuned for that. I think I've gone through. I won't. Oh, Catherine just said, "Do not spoil." I will not spoil it. That's our shtick. Is just me saying, "I'm going to do it. I'm going to," and then her saying no, and me saying, "Oh, okay, I won't." Okay, so should we? Hey, because I can't. This isn't a Hangout with me without me spoiling something. Can I spoil the next candle? Cypress, a sweet sort of bayberry scent with notes of vanilla and oak, as well as a little dash of paper. So it's going to smell like the characters, it's going to smell like the themes, and it's going to smell like the island that we first see in the first up. Catherine, or can you copy and paste them for me? I don't want to miss anything. I know someone asked about trust levels for TBS. Okay, that is a really good question, and something Catherine and I were working on a lot, where we wanted to make a promise to the readership that you couldn't just buy your way into them. And we found that people were signing up for TBS who had been lurkers the entire time. And what you guys may not know is that the vocal community, the people who are involved, whether you're involved in the narrative or anywhere, the Court of Grandmothers or gardening, that's a big question. Oh, okay, I'm sorry about that. Catherine said hers is buffering too. Well, it'll be a surprise when you see this all later. So we were getting people signing up for TBS who not only had a lower trust level than would allow them to be in the in-world categories on the forum, but they also sometimes were just brand new subscribers. And we found that the community that we've created, you guys, like I said, the sort of more vocal involved community makes up about 20% of the readership. Oh, my light died. Hold on, I have to move this over. Oh my God, being interrogated. Hold on, oh my God, emails and things. So we found that the promise of TBS is that you would get this full narrative. You would be able to see the entire narrative, the same kind of, you earn your place there like you do on the forum. And it also weeds out people that might not fit the vibe or might not understand. And Yeah, that's crazy. So 20% are the people who are involved every day, but we see our back end numbers. 80% of people read all the stuff you all write, read every topic, read every reply, and buy the book. Or just me seeing this forum. I probably would lurk a lot too, because you guys to me would be like sort of magic versus superheroes. And so I would be like, I don't subscribe to the Briar Society, are sort of like the silent majority. And so we're working on ways so that you can also earn that trust level within the Briar Society. And my promise to you is that if we ever, the trust level sort of system is kind of built so that people understand, they have time to read the narrative, they understand what's going on, they understand kind of how to play. And we're never going to let people sort of jump that hurdle. And so if I went to adjust my non-existent glasses. So if people are problematic for any number of reasons in the Briar Society, we will make sure that that's rectified. That sounds like scary, but it's not. It just means we'll pull them aside to say, hey, it might be a good idea for you to read TMP 1 and 2. It may also be a good idea to get involved on the forum outside of the Briar Society. And we would make sure that that trust level, sort of the spirit of the trust level, works with TBS too. But we found that so many people who were kind of in our silent majority wanted to be involved in the Briar Society because they don't want to miss the narrative. And they want, it's kind of like there are this group of people who want to be involved and build the creating. So yes, you are welcome to join the Briar Society, and you will be able to earn trust levels in there as well. And we're working on fine tuning all of that. So yeah, I hope I answered that question. Do we have any other questions? I'm reading now. I can read and not be. Did that explain, Asimov? Oh, great, perfect. Yeah, and that's another thing we did. A lot of people who were in TMP in the beginning, when that experience ended, they went back to normal life, which you have to do, and so they're ready to come back for this experience. And so we're kind of like walking that line and balancing it. And as always, the decision is always what is best for the community. That's the truth. Not what makes us the most money, but what is best for our community, because we love you. I said that with a funny voice, but I really meant it, because we love you. I think that's the only question. So it's so nice seeing you. I love having these hangouts, even though they make me nervous. Oh, thank you. Oh, it's my favorite. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then King Rabbit underneath. One thing I did today, I was up here all day writing on my own. I think I got this on Amazon, by the way. I was writing up here alone, and so we decided to tap our maple trees this year, and I brought in 4 gallons of maple sap and spent 7 hours letting it cook on the stove. This is fun. And actually, I'm working on sort of the window and the chat. What we're going to do for the next Hangout, I hope, is have that right at the top of the forum, where that banner normally, when you first sign up, this will be there, so you can go to the forum and you can watch it from there. So you don't even have to come to YouTube, which is pretty cool. All right, this has been wonderful. I love spending time with you all, and I'm glad we're doing this every month again. We are done. You missed us, but it's going to be on the forum now, and you can watch it. Oh, I'm all good with TBS. I can earn trust levels and not block. Exactly. You'll be able to experience it all. And anyone who, I know it is, and it's early in the season, so it's the really light kind. But yes, so you'll be able to earn your trust levels as you get involved, and was lower, we'll make sure we sort of give them all the resources and directions to catch up on the story so they understand. Not my problem. Everyone had streaming issues, but I'm sure it was fine on my end. I'm sorry for that. And next time I'll make sure I'll run it on my PC so that we get Ethernet speed. But yeah, I hope you have a wonderful night. Boop. And remember, Melts, if you want to get guild bearing tattoos,